Well, I'm getting through the series quite well. Quph, Resh, and the next video is Shin and Tao. Quph is one of those letters that I've been unsure about for so many times, because it's another one of those letters where there's so many different things going on and different ideas about it. It's now become one of the letters that is one of my favourites, I guess. There's a lot of things going on with Quph, and I think it's quite kind of cool in its own way. Okay, original pictures. Supposedly this one, right? The sun on the horizon. Now, there's some people who and some scholars, etc., that kind of believe this was never found. It's more of a proposed idea. I'm not sure what the truth is on that. But this version we found, and these letters often twisted 90 degrees or so. Gimel being a great example of that. Because pictographic Gimel was this way, or it was this way, and then Paleo was that way. You know, kind of the same thing. Bobbing a bit. So maybe this was this way. Yep. I don't know. The pictograph of the earliest views are something on the lines of this. When it went into Paleo, it was more upright. There's quite a lot of different Paleo versions, so I'll try and get them all in. Is this one? Is this one that I tend to use? Is that? Is that? And there's this one. Almost exactly the same as a Pinterest logo, if I said that correctly. Okay, so it went into like late Hebrew, Dead Sea Scrolls type area. It's another letter. I'm not exactly sure exactly how it looks. I'm not going to write it down. You have to have a look. Can't remember off the top of my head. Okay, none of us tend to look into that visual that much anyway. Modern. Let's try and do it with this letter again. Which way would it be? Let's have a go. Yeah, basically. That's your modern Quph. Okay. Yeah, numerically it's 100. You have to forgive my blank moments occasionally. I have to think. I'm not, you know, I'll go blank sometimes. Right. Just going to draw two types on now. And what was it? Just want to draw those two for the time being, and then this one. That I will get back to later. Okay. Meanings wise, some sources say it means a monkey. Now, I'm not going to completely rule it out because I don't know everything, but I'm not convinced it's a monkey personally. Maybe. The word Quph or Quph actually spelled out the full word is supposed to mean monkey, but they reckon it's a loan word. So again, not going to rule it out, but I'm not convinced of it. There's a lot of evidence that it is to do with the sun. Okay, so I think it's fair to say the word sun could be used. Right. So let's change pen. Sun or horizon for obvious reasons. How is it? Okay. Well, this one, you've got the idea of something rising upwards, like the sun literally rising, like a sunrise or morning or something. Same idea with this. You've got the horizon, you can see it popping up, but for the same dynamic, why not sunset? And in the modern Quph, some of the rabbis like say it means to hang down because the bottom of the letter drops downwards. Well, okay, maybe, but if it can sunrise and it can sunset, so that's probably okay. So I'll put it down. And then by extension rise and then lower. instead of putting lower, I'll put the word descend, it makes more sense. Okay. Now, if it's sunrise and sunset, you get the idea of east and west as well. I failed to mention, grammatically, it doesn't seem to have anything other than its numerical value. Okay. Now, this version here, okay, if you look at the sun, and if you look at this, they say this is the back of the head, like your cranium. It's got the curvature thing on the go. A couple of sources will say this is like a pin on a thread, or a rope in like a guy hole or something. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not going to write it down because it's nothing I'm sure about, but I'm just letting you know so you can do your own research if you wish to. This does look like the back of the head to me, but towards the end of the video, I'll go into it more. Now, you've got the idea of the sun. The sun follows, you know, a cycle, or at least the Earth goes around the sun. Some people think the sun goes around the Earth. I'm open to the idea, but I'll stick with the model I was brought up with for the time being. Although, another model is that the sun itself and the whole solar system goes around the universe in a cycle. So either way, it doesn't really matter. Visually, as you look at it, the sun goes up and down. Okay, so you've got the idea of a cycle going forward and coming back, but in a circular motion. So cycle. Circular. Okay. And again, with a cycle and a circular motion, it has a lot to do with time. Again, the sun has an awful lot to do with time, how we measure time. Okay. And another thing, say it means the back of the head. Okay. I like to use my hand to make it obvious, because if I can animate things a bit visually, it sticks in better. The back of your head is always behind you. Okay, it's always behind you. Right? And it always, literally, if your front head is where your mind, your eyes, where you experience things, the back of the head is behind you, and it always follows wherever you're going. Okay, it follows you. So you get the idea of behind and following. Now, when you look at the word behind, it has an interesting dynamic, in my opinion, because behind can mean that way, but it can also mean that way. I could say, oh yeah, something's behind me, but I could also go, something's behind that rock over there. So it can be far way forward or far way backwards. Okay, you get the idea of far away as well. So behind and far away, I know the difference, but they're kind of the same, depends on how you look at it. So far, little dash, and far away, okay. And if something's behind, like all the way that way, all the way at the back of the queue, is last, okay? Or, you know, right towards the end, the very end of the racetrack, if you like, that's last, okay? So you get the idea of last as well. You can plug that into the sun dipping down and the horizon, it's last, okay? It's the end, if you like. Don't want to forget anything because I like this letter. There's a lot going on with this letter. Back of the head, yeah. Some sources say, again, I get bored of saying that, but it has something to do with condensing and gathering. Again, I'm not going to roll it out because I don't know everything, but I'm not convinced yet. The idea is a bit like the Hebrew word ereb or erev for evening, because that's where the light mixes. It also means mix. So they get the idea of that. The sun's setting and rising, the light's being mixed, the idea of gathering and condensing. It might be true, I'm not sure. Right. Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to move on. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, I really do. It annoys me when I forget things. Right, Resh. Old pickies. basically a picture of a bloke's head. Some look a bit more like a mushroom. From a rear view, maybe it's an afro. Some have more of a pointy thing on the go. It looks more angular, but whichever way you look at it, it's a picture of a bloke's head. Okay. When I went to paleo, as you can see, it got simplified to pretty much looks more like a bendy flagpole, or maybe it was a bit curved. Quite a simplification in my opinion. But it does carry a very similar concept that I'll bring out in a minute. I think Dead Sea Scrolls top here was the same. I'm not sure, but modern one, it's kind of that, which is a bit like, again, a bit like the back of the head, like the Quph. You get this bit. Visually, yeah, that's kind of your Resh. Right. Remember, Quph was 100. This now is 200. Okay. Now, meanings, head, obviously. Change the pen. Right. Man. It's a picture of a man's head. It's a picture of a person. So it's man. Right. I don't know how you can look at this and say it can't mean a man. I think that's a bit of a stretch to say it can't mean a man. At the end of the day, it's a picture of a man's head. It's a person. Okay. Now, who's the head of the company? Right. The head of the company is a boss. Right. So you've got the idea of a leader, a king, a ruler, etc. Chief. Right. Yeah, boss. Right. Who's the head man? The bloke at the top. Okay. And who's in front? Who gets the best stuff? Who's at the front? Front of the head again. Who's at the front? Again, it's this. He's at the front. He's first. Okay. It means first as well. Okay. Now, it also means to raise and to lift up. Again, you've got the head. Maybe it's got something to do with pride. I'm not sure. This, you've got the head sort of lifted up on its neck, if you like, kind of exalted. An exalted man. But yeah, take boss off and put exalted man. It makes a lot more sense to me. Okay, exalted man. Again, first, he's the one who leads. It can mean to rise. Quph can mean to rise, but so can Resh. Quite a lot of Hebrew letters have the connotation of lifting up or surrounding, I've noticed, but in different nuances. Rise, lift up. Okay. It means top and pinnacle. The idea of first and like chief is in best. Okay. Top, pinnacle, best. Okay. Now again, it's a picture of a man's head. It has a lot to do with thoughts, right? Has a lot to do with thoughts. Again, that comes with headship, authority, etc. But well, what you're thinking about. Okay. Yeah. I think that's about as far as I understand the letter in its meanings. Yeah, okay. Obviously, to me, this represents a Mashiach because he is the exalted man, the one who's high, lifted up, best, the ruler, the king, etc. Every letter represents Elohim in several different ways. Right. Try and get it nice. Trying to do it sort of Hebrew properly. Don't always get it right, but yeah. Quph followed by a final tzadi. Qets, okay, means end or termination. Right, that's the end, the last, that sort of thing. So something being, well, yeah, the end, the last. Now what I see in this, okay, sort of pictographic paleo or whatever, what I see in this as one possible way that it means end is, like I said, you've got the horizon, something that's far away, okay, horizon far away, something that's last on the trail. So you can say, right, what's far away at the, you know, at the back of a trail or pathway? Again, the pathway's in front of you, it's right at the end of that. What is there? The finish line, if you like, the destination, the end you've got there. That's how I see that as meaning end or termination. Probably many more ways it means end and termination, but that's just one thing that I'm seeing. Okay, very quick picture. Another one. Ah, okay. Hey and Resh. It's a word for mountain, right? Or sometimes pregnancy and all. Okay. Now, hang on. Pictographic. So with this, like a picture of a mountain, got a peak. Okay. With the pregnancy idea, it's like a man sort of rising, if you like in your belly. There's a man who's rising, lifting his head up, if you like. You get the idea? A man, or two men. That can be a woman as well. So the woman's man, yeah. And you got the idea of the belly bulging, becoming a mountain. With the literal mountain, with rocks and stuff, it's like, behold the head, or the peak, or the top. Behold the summit. Okay, I said it means top, pinnacle, best. Well, summit and peak, they're two other things I could have wrote down, but they kind of mean the same. So it's like, look, behold the top. But this can mean wind and ruach, breath. At the top of mountains it's very, very windy, you know. Different ways you can look at it, but that's an idea of how that can mean. How that can mean mountain, okay. Look at what's risen, right? When you read about the flood of Noah, it says that basically the mountains rose up and the valleys sank down. That's where half the water went. But it seems like they had some mountains, but they just got bigger. You look on the edge of lots of continents, it's all crumpled up, and so the mountains rise up. Look at what's risen. So many different ways you can look at it. And now for something that is unorthodox, I'm not seen anywhere. I could be talking crap. I want your views on it. Quph, with this particular version. Okay. Right, the thing that's supposed to be in the back of the head. To me, that looks very much like a skull or cranium. Again, I know I could be wrong, but this does look like the back of the head to me. If you imagine the front of the head being here, that, just draw it in, might make it even more obvious. Put the ear there. Oh. Nice and obvious, why not? Yeah. You've got the back of the head, you've got the front of the head, you've got the Quph and the Resh. That's what I'm kind of seeing. So maybe it could be a skull. That's a bit of a stretch. Because I don't see anything, I don't see any proof to say it could mean skull, right? Or skeleton or anything other than this. It's an idea, I'm not saying it's there. But what do you think? That can be the back of the head, that can be the front of the head. Or the head. Yeah, maybe. You know, the thoughts, Resh can mean thoughts. Could this be a brain on its sort of nerve stem, where your thoughts are? You know, just throwing that out there, possible. Some also say that the Quph, you know, is like a plume of smoke. You know, I'm not sure, could be, just throwing that out there as well. Plume of smoke that's rising from fire. I don't know, maybe. Excuse me. Okay, thank you for watching. Please drop some comments, tell me what you think. I'll record the next one.